Wagwan, ya bumba clots. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it. That's right. It's Wednesday. That's right. Wednesday, August the 20th, 2025. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, mi familias, down south in the United States of America, so over there in Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Zimbabwe, over there in Thailand, in Bangkok, over there in Singapore, the Azerbaijani people, over there in the Finnish people, Bulgaria, Venezuela, over there in Peru, Siberia, and Serbia too. Serbia, my Serbians. A lot of stuff going down there, but today is not the day though. But shout out to the people, wherever you are. Hope you're all doing good. Thank you for joining me again. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Just excited to be on. That's all. It's just a lot of excitement. I miss you too. It's good to be alive and kicking. Let's get a sip of this bad boy right here. Lots of fun to be had today, as per usual. If you're just joining us today, welcome to fun times. Let's just get right into it. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, this one, I don't even know where to begin, but I think it's just best if we just hop right into it. Satanist slash YouTube sensation slash YouTuber slash content creator slash influencer slash, he does it all, but Satanist first and foremost. He's a satanic leader of the new generation, of the current generation. He brings in big money. Who am I talking about? Mr. Beast. He's a Satanist, of course. Satanic. Not gonna call, maybe a cult leader, not a cult leader. Who amongst us with a business or a platform is not a cult leader is a question that's neither here or there. The point is, Satanist slash YouTuber Mr. Beast was just recently with a gang of friends, family members perhaps, mostly friends, crew, and they were Satanist slash, how do I even get into the Satanist slash ash-phobic YouTube creator. There you go. Satanist slash ash-phobic. That's right. Mr. Beast was on the internet doing a fundraiser, if I'm not mistaken, raising funds, but, and this is, I don't believe that he does a lot of good. He does a lot of stuff. He creates a lot of content, helps a lot of people from what I understand, with raising money and giving money away, putting him through contests, jumping up and down through hoops, touching a car, not touching a car, touching yourself, not touching yourself, pulling on your genitals, not ripping it off, but then seeing how long you can survive with your genitals in your hand, and other such competitions, allegedly. Who knows? The point is, he was raising money with a bunch of other content creators, and it was for its Team Water. That's what it is. He is, again, I don't know how to, this is, you can do your own research, but rumor has it, allegedly, Mr. Beast is ash-phobic, and the true story, the real, it goes back perhaps to childhood. Who knows? Why is he ash-phobic? Why is he trying to raise money to help people get wet, essentially? He doesn't like ashiness. Mr. Beast don't like that crustiness. Mr. Beast does not like dry skin. He is ash-phobic. Hence his crusade on helping raise money to, I guess, create wells and whatnot so that people without water can have access to water. I believe it goes back to childhood memories or experiences he may have had. It may have been with an ashy person. It may have been with dry folk, if we like to call them that. It may have been with people who don't get that H2O, dehydrated motherfuckers. And you know how they can be frothy at the mouth. It's like, have some water. But he may have had a couple of run-ins here and there. Did not leave a good taste in his mouth. Maybe he got threatened by ash folk. Maybe he wanted to be ashy, but he couldn't, and he was wondering what was the cause of the ashiness and dry skin. Did his research. Allegedly, it is due to water or lack thereof. So he made it after experiencing a terrible experience with dry people, just scaly motherfuckers, borderline lizard folk. he was out there, he got scared as a child. He's like, oh, I'm never gonna let another child grow up to have the same experiences as me and be scared of scaly, dry skinned folk. Terrible. Oh, and he'd walking down the street, he could hear them just shedding skin and, you know, pursuing him or something along those lines. It doesn't matter. Maybe it was around the evening time and his parents, I don't know, his full life situation. Maybe somebody told him, hey, why don't you go and like walk the dog, or I don't even know if he had a dog, or it doesn't even matter, but why don't you like go outside for a second and come back inside. And then when he went outside, because his parents told him to go outside for a minute and then come back, he encountered dry people outside. And ever since then, he was scared of dry people. And he's like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure people are hydrated. So he built his empire of bestiality and satanic devil worship. And now he is raising money with other creators who may or may not be like-minded. Who knows? Who knows? Time will tell. But he is on this crusade, a satanic crusade to deprive people of dryness. And this is, you know, I'm the type that says live and let live, to each their own. If people want to be dry out there, what business is it of mine to make sure that they are hydrated? Now, I put out a couple of messages here and there. I've told people during summer season, during hot temperatures, stay hydrated. I'm not going to go raise millions of dollars, but he does that. He does that. It's nice. And again, I think deep down inside, everything can be rooted to childhood. They say that, but they say a lot of things. Who are they, them? Who knows? People say shit. Some of it may be in later adolescence. Some of it may be due to maybe he had a bad run-in with somebody in his young adult life who was dry, who wasn't moisturized. And next thing you know, they shook hands, and the callus on the fellow or lady's hands, who was extremely dry, rubbed Mr. Beast's hands the wrong way, and it maybe caused a couple of, just a minuscule amount of scrapage on the palm of his hands, and that felt awkward and itchy for like half a day. And since then, he has been on a crusade to help people get moisturized and stay wet. He doesn't want to see no, you know, if Mr. Beast is the type of fella that'll show up to a non-wet t-shirt contest and ask questions as to why this non-wet t-shirt contest is going on when it can be going on but be also really wet. So he'll come up with a bucket of water, just toss it on your t-shirt. He's that type of fella. He likes people moisturized, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Me, myself, again, if people want to be dry out there, be dry out there. If people want to just, you know, shrivel up into a little prune on the side of the pool, why not? But that's Mr. Beast, and you gotta, you know, and that's fantastic. So there you have it, folks. That's a little bit, but again, the reasoning, because we got to know why people go out there and do such things. And again, it's a little bit of Satanism, a little bit of bestiality, a little bit of just good old-fashioned giving back. All right, so congratulations. The money has been raised through live streaming. I believe they broke a Guinness World Record for the fastest fundraising ever. And as to fight dry people, none of that ashiness. Again, I'm not an ash phobe myself, but I get it. I get it. When you just walk down the street and bump elbows against somebody who's a little bit dry, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, sparks are flying, flames are sparking up, and it's a fire hazard, actually. Come to think of it, with everything going on, you know, if you want to talk about like, let's protect humans and the environment and all that shit, I guess start with moisturizing and staying hydrated. And Mr. Beast is out there doing that. So there you go. That's Team Water. Shout out to Team Water. And again, I don't judge. A lot of people are like, oh, it's satanic devil worship. I don't judge. If it's for a good cause, who knows? If it's for a good cause, we should. They say don't judge a book by its cover. Or nobody even, who reads books anymore, actual physical books anymore? So gotta update that saying. But nonetheless, put aside your judgment and your notions of, I don't feel too well about bestiality and satanic devil worship or pentagrams and whatever. What else is going on in and around the world? I keep coming across this one headline every once. It's just been on my, I don't know why they keep it. I've never even looked at it. Apparently, the alleged headlines, I didn't read into it initially, but it kept popping up month after month after month after month. And finally, I'm just like, let me click on one of these and let me do just a little bit of looking into the matter. It says nose picking could be, there's a theory online, it keeps bombarding me. It says nose picking could be a cause of dementia. And initially when I saw it, I just skipped through. I'm like, no way, nose picking cannot, I don't want to know about it. But eventually it kept popping up so many times. I'm like, let me click on this and read a little bit about it. Apparently it just turns out it's a theory, and thank God it's just a theory, because again, if it were true, they need to be doing more studies on this, but I don't want to find out. Some things are better left just undiscovered. And this is one of them. This is one, not too many. Most mysteries should be solved and other mysteries should be created. But nose picking, if it causes dementia, we're not gonna stop picking our nose. I'm not talking about people walking up and down the street or driving and then you see a guy just knee deep in his nose. He put the elbow and he's just like going full invert. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just cleanliness and clearing out your nostrils so you can go outside and breathe. Specifically for me personally, I'll speak personally from a personal experience. I don't want to generalize, but I clear out my nose in the bathroom in the shower. When I gets up and takes a shower, I blow out the nose. I blow it out. And it's a beautiful, horrendous noise. It's frightening, but also it's a necessity, and everybody does it. And it's one of those things where it's like, hey, what is life if not just the process of clearing out bodily orifices from liquids and or solids? That's basically life. Rinse, repeat. Just fill it up with water, liquids, foods, and then empty it out from different. That's all. Most of your day, you're clearing out the corner of your eyes, blowing out your nose, taking a shit, taking a piss, leaking from your vag, all of it. And it's part of life. So I'm glad to hear that it's just a theory. But again, if I find out it's true, I'm not gonna stop clearing out my nose. I'm not gonna walk outside with bugs all over my nose and I can't breathe just because I'm like, oh, when I'm 85, I'm not gonna want to get dementia. I want a little bit at 80. If I go up to 85, 95, I want a tad bit of dementia. All right, just a tad. We don't need to keep everything up in this bitch. At 85, I'll take a pinch of dementia. A little bit of the alts, a little bit of the old dementia, just a tad bit, okay? 85, 90, 100. If you're pushing 100, you deserve dementia. Okay, you should just probably shove that, even if they say, hey, it's gonna lead to dementia, shove that finger up that. You don't wanna walk outside and embarrass yourself. And it's happened to many of us over the years. Billions of people have every once in a while have been caught in a situation where a little bug is just like, hello, friend, and people disperse. And nobody tells you, or maybe they do, but what's the use? The point is it keeps coming back and you do gotta clear it out. And it's one of those things, even the sexiest amongst us, which is females. I'm talking to sexy female. Even beautiful bitches have got to clear out their nostrils, and even they too make fart noises with their face in the bathroom in the mornings or in the evenings, depending on when they shower or just wash their face. Just like, what is that? How's a 5'6", 5'4" beautiful, little feline, how's she making that noise? What happened? Why is there a gargoyle in the bathroom? What is going on? Comes out 5-10 minutes later looking all beautiful, but you know what you were doing in there. Blowing bugs out your nostrils, homie. Still, we love you for the titties and the milk and the vag, so keep it coming. Trying to mow the lawn outside. This bitch is clearing out the nostrils so she can go. So she can hold that breath. You know what for? Oh, for that head exercise, for that hip, for that neck movement. Oh, nose picking leads to dementia. I don't want to hear about it. Thank you. But I'm glad it's just a theory at this point. So it's if you've come across this headline as well, or a piece of news, somebody told you, go knee deep, elbow deep, baby. Fret not. I'll go deep, dude. I will go deep. I'm in there, and I make sure I'm in there, dude. I'm I don't just put one finger. One finger is for amateurs. I've been doing this for some time now. Many a decades have gone by. I'm fucking, just tickling my brain, dude. Just right there. If it's not making you just, ooze a little bit of ejac out of your cack, you're not picking your nose properly. That's the old saying. So ladies, get in there, clear it out. If there's no discharge, you're not clearing out your nose properly, lady, you should be lactating. That's how far you should go up the old nostril right there. Clear it up. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that the African Union has gotten together, and this is a combination of the roughly 50 African nations. A few of them are not involved in this process. They've been kicked out due to God knows what reasons. But that's nonetheless, the point is 50 African nations formed the African Union some time ago, and recently, and maybe for some time now, they've been at it. They are saying, get rid of the 16th century Mercator map. Girard Mercator, I believe maybe he was French, and he was old, and he mapped out the world, and he did it accurately in terms of like at least the way it looks, more or less accurate. Like, it's got it down, but the proportions are not right. Apparently this is not correct. Africa is the second largest continent, and the African Union is raising awareness and saying, you know what, our maps are not representative of our actual size. And so when it comes to Africans, does size really matter? When it comes to map sizes, they're saying we're bigger. They're saying forget the maps even. They're saying we're girthier and we're bigger. We're the second largest after Asians. That's right. Africans are the second largest after Asians, because Asia is the girthiest and largest of continents, specifically continents. But nonetheless, size, does it really matter? They want to get the maps to conform to a new map called the Equal Earth map. So it depicts the size of, and I believe South America is a little bit off too, if I'm not mistaken, but specifically Africa is much larger than depicted. And this impacts, I want to be looking at personally, I'm not even like, I'm black, but I'm like not that, like, there's degrees of this shit, but I don't go hard, but you know what I mean? It's in me. So I feel a little bit like, yeah, what are the impacts? Good question. I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. Not having a proportional map, first of all, fucks with everyone's view of the world, because you're looking at the Google Maps and you're like, oh, Africa is right there. I can't wait to get Africa and do a little bit of cross-continental hike, and then you get there and it's much bigger, and now you've been hiking for days and you've only brought so much food because you looked at the map and you're like, well, it's similar sort of kind of to North America, sort of kind of same distance-ish, give or take here and there. You are in the Sahara, bleeding from your tits, you are dehydrated, you're fully ashy right now, you're ash fantastic, your feet are bleeding, you're like, how is this happening to me? I thought I'd be done going through the continent of Africa by now. You got your babes on your back, your newborn. You're like, I'll bring my newborn on this hiking trip with the wife, and we'll take a couple of pictures with the pyramid and the mummies, and we'll get in there and smoke. I want to take a trip to Africa and give my baby the hookah. I want to know how cute. Next thing you know, your baby's a crackhead. But that's aside the point. The point is, you did not prepare for this trip because you thought it's smaller, and now you're lost. You're running out of supplies, water, finished, food, dunzo, sandals, or shreds. You're gaping, your dick hole is just gaping wide open, try to just gasp for air. Nostrils filled with sand. You're borderline dying, fella, right there, just on the line teetering. And guess what? It wouldn't have happened if you saw an accurate sized map. You would have prepared properly, but that's just for outsiders and visitors, and the impact it has on Africans themselves. The impact it has on, where do I even begin? AIDS. Just because there's a causation, is there a correlation, or vice versa? Maybe not. But if the size of your continent is not depicted correctly, researchers and statisticians say that it may drive up the AIDS And you don't want to drive up AIDS because of improper mapping, do you? Unless you're some sort of sick eugenicist who wants to control the population. You're like, we'll fuck with their maps and we'll get in their heads, man, and we'll give them AIDS too. All right? Malaria caused by the wrongful depiction of the continent's size on a map? Maybe not, but maybe so. Maybe, just maybe. So, had the flies with the malaria known they were dealing with a larger continent, maybe they would have picked a smaller continent to go and kind of like, to bother people in there. But they looked at Africa and they're like, that will do, it's not that big. Guess what, next thing? Fucking malaria city. Babies with bloated bellies. You want to see babies with bloated bellies? With the AIDS? Selling ass for a little bit of 2C? God, you're sick, so fix it. I believe there's an equal Earth map, and I want to, again, for the sake of just visual, guidance, when you and I'd like to look at a legit map size. I don't know why we're still 16th century, and nobody's brought this up until recently, or maybe people have, but I don't know why it's not getting updated. Let's get an accurate map. That's the Mercator map has got to go campaign, hashtag the Mercator map out, the equal Earth map in. Low-key, are there other places on the Earth that we've not mapped? Low-key, let me know. The powers that be, the people who pulley on the stringy strings, are there uncharted, unmapped territories? Let me know. Is that it? The 7 continents, is that it? Is that all we got? Or are there more continents submerged or low-key merged, or low-key just like we don't even talk about it, but it's there? Is there low-key other, maybe not a continent, more islands? Is the map full-blown accurate, or low-key just missing a couple of pieces? I don't know. No, fine. God, I wish there was I want to just be on a little paddle boat one day and just bump into a new country, or like looking for people. I'm here. There's no one there. I got to start my own little clan. Just fighting nature for food, surviving, because nobody is there except maybe there's another country right over there. I can see it, but still stranded in the middle of the water all by myself. Have to start a family with God knows what, just a couple of coconuts and my jizz. We'll get this population going in no time. But that's the Mercator map, neither here or there. But as an African, I can tell you that I'd like an equal Earth map. All right. Ladies and gents, what else is going on in and around? For a second, if we can just, can we get a sip? A little sippy poo for the old throat. Okay. Sure, I may not be part of a satanic global movement helping others stay hydrated, but I can do my part by drinking coffee. What else is going on? There's a debate going on in France right now, child-free resorts. It's being debated, child-free resorts in France. Allegedly, there's these resorts in France and other parts of the world too that are child-free. And people are debating it. Should there be child-free resorts in France? Some people are suggesting we should get rid of them, that they're discriminatory. Others say, hey, it's just a lifestyle. Hey, if you want to go to a resort of sorts, if you want to go on a vacay and also get a free child, I mean, there are other ways of getting a child, but yes, I suppose they do say there's no free. Everybody always says, you know what, I can't wait till I win the lottery, or I can't wait till I enter this competition and get this Lambo, or, a beautiful American muscle car. I can't wait to win that American muscle car, or this Russian, sailboat, or this, modified igloo, or whatever it is that you're getting. I can't wait to get this double-decker igloo with the Eskimos in it. And guess what? The prizes, the Eskimos are free, but the maintenance, it costs a lot to feed the Eskimos, all right? It costs a lot to just maintain that Lambo and, get that electronic porcupine going, baby. So before you go out there and think to you, what were we even talking about? Before you go out there and think to yourself, I'm going to get a free child out of this resort. Do think of yes, the child is free. It's a child-free resort. But you're going to have to raise this thing probably up to, at least 18, 19, 20. God knows, who knows? But you're going to have to take care of this. This is a long-term investment. Don't go thinking I'm going to just get this free child and come out all W's and winning and smiling all day. There's a responsibility that comes with these prizes. And child-free resorts, they should be out there. I believe they should be out there. Are they for everyone? I'm going to go out on the limb and say no. I'm going to say no, it's not for everyone. Some people want to go in there and take their own child with them. They don't want to go get a free child. Where do these children even come from? Because we know children do not grow on trees, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have more scary news concerning where children grow? Perhaps. Stay tuned. It will come up eventually. But for the time being, the saying goes, children don't grow on trees. So there are these child-free resorts in France, and no one knows where they're getting their babies from. And it's low-key questionable. It is low-key sus. Should we get rid of these resorts? Should we keep them? I say, again, because I personally have not experienced the child-free resorts. All right? Been to a couple of resorts in my lifetime. They've not been child-free. Because that's not what I look for. There's some folk out there that want to look for it. They say it's a lifestyle. Some people say this, it's just a time to just get away and just let loose and be be with child-free. They say that. Others say, hey, it's either bring your own or just don't talk about it. But what's all this giving away of free children at a resort? Should even vacationing and children go hand in hand? People have brought that question up as well, and it's a difficult question to answer. I leave it up to the people. You decide for yourself if you'd like to have child-free resorts or no child-free resorts. I personally believe in options. I don't want and I want more options too. Should probably be elderly freed resorts. Why only were we going to just be ageist about it and be like, yeah, we're only going to give away babies at the resorts. It's a child-free resort. What about the elderly who are old and lonely? What about taking a couple of them and giving them away as gifts? And the good thing about that resort is once you do win the elderly, you don't have to, the upkeep is much, they've gone through they're going to take care of themselves. You might still have to change a couple of diapers here and there, but not as much as the babies. So there's that. And what about free retard babies resorts? What about that? Or is it all just ableist child-free resorts? What about retarded child-free resorts? Because I didn't hear anything about retardedness in the resorts and them giving away babies. What about, or do you just cater to the fancy folk, who are minded and body abled? So yeah, retard-free resorts, we should put that in the, I want more options, that's what I'm saying. What about animals with rabies-free resort? What about that? Because it's easy to go to the animal shelter and take in a cute kitty and a nice beautiful little dog, but what about the dogs and the cats with the rabies? What about that kind of resort? Help around with you bring them in, you take care of them, they're lovely after you take care of them. The rabies will probably go away, maybe, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, your time is going to be just filled with love. Your life is going to be enhanced. So that's what I promote. Keep the options open. I don't know how they source their children or babies, but it is available out there. Child-free resorts in France being discussed, potentially all over the world as well. A lot of times people want to prepare a lot of different dishes when they're cooking, and one of the greatest ingredients on planet Earth are tomatoes. But a lot of people have a difficult time deciding whether they should get a knife to, dice the tomatoes or slice the tomatoes or puree the tomato. or use their, sometimes people say, should I just use my fingers and squish it? Should I squish the tomatoes? And there's a new method in town, ladies and gentlemen. There's a beautiful new method in town. You can now use your genitals, that's right, use your cack and your puss to crush these said tomatoes. It actually gives a little bit of an extra flavor, and you're not gonna strain your hands. Think about all the different activities and tasks that you utilize your hands for during out the day. So give your hands a rest, from changing the channel using the remote, to clipping your disgusting long 5-inch toenails, to picking your nose, wiping your ass, handing out cash, putting your palm out and taking the cash back because you gave too much away. You still like some more, you tipped way too much, you made a mistake, you passed a hundo instead of a 10, it's awkward. So see, lifting weights, putting weights down, moving, relocating, everything, jerking, flicking your bean, flipping through a magazine, flipping through a newspaper, paper cuts, just playing with sandpaper, playing with sharp objects. So these are all the activities that you do with your hands. So I say take a little bit of the stress away from your hands. Use your genitals. Take your cock and simply smash the tomatoes over and over and over until it's adequately squished. Ladies, you have a different ability to do. Simply place the tomatoes inside your puss. Squeeze, squeeze, clench the same way you clench a cock, and squeeze the juice out of the tomato and squeeze until the tomato is fully squished. Another method is, of course, you can take the tomatoes, pile of tomatoes, put them on the ground, open your legs, squat down on the said tomatoes and squish them from above using only your genitals. Repeat until the tomatoes are adequately squished and you have your desired squished tomatoes. And guess what? You can look at your hands and be like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to wash my hands, because so many minutes, so many hours, so many days have been wasted away using your hands squishing tomatoes, and then after that you got to go and wash them and rinse them, and that's a lifetime thrown away. For what? Where you could use your genitals, which are not used for much if you think about it, but they can do a lot. But they say the female genitalia is extremely strong. Well, let me tell you something, ladies, they're not wrong. And fellas, just because the ladies' genitals are stronger doesn't mean that we're not gonna take our dicks and smack a couple of tomatoes with it until you get the proper, adequate juice out of those same tomatoes. And you're like, could I use my dick to stir? Could I stir the tomato? You could stir the tomatoes with your dick. Yes, you can. Like, can I fluff it up a little bit with it? Could I get the tomato sauce to be a little bit, a little bit fizzy? Could I? Yes, simply dip your puss on top of the tomatoes that are in the bowl that you've squished using your puss, and queef into the tomato bowl and get it to be a little bit just, a little bit fizzy, a little bit hydrated, a little bit just fluffed up, if you will. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is genital tomato squishing. Forget your hands. Use your other body parts and have fun. Get the entire family and friend crew involved today. Dun, 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 dun. A Florida man, Aiden Perry, a Florida man, Aiden Perry, was just saved by a pendant. He's wearing a tiny little cross on his chest, and he went somewhere. I don't know, I forget where. Maybe a house party, maybe somewhere they were gonna watch the fights, the UFCs. And all of a sudden, somebody brought out a couple of gats and started pointing and fucking around, and shots were fired. And the shot was fired right at Aiden Perry. But the bullet from the gun hit the cross pendant, and it ricocheted into his arm, and now he is alive and well, and we are glad that he is alive and well. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, maybe call it divine intervention, maybe call it just like physics, or like a combination of physics and divine intervention, maybe call it good timing, maybe call it luck, maybe call it guardian angels, maybe call it random, maybe whatever you want to call it. But the point is that it's most likely due to the fact that he was wearing this cross pendant on his neck, around his neck. So he was wearing that beautiful necklace, and it saved his life. The moral of that story is that cross pendants save lives. All right, so today you should go out there, because you never know. Hopefully you live in a very safe environment where no shots are fired at you ever. But we can see that there's a clear example that cross pendants save lives. Buy yourself a cross pendant. Let Jesus do a little bit of the work. He'll do it. He loves you. He will do. So get a tiny one. But if you really want to ensure that you'll always be protected, again, this bullet ricocheted off a tiny pendant. Think about the many bullets that your larger pendant could, ricochet. So get the biggest cross you can. Get one that's maybe twice, 3 size, the size of this smaller cross that Aiden Perry was wearing, and save your life and gift it to other people so they can save their lives too. While we're at it, why don't you just increase the size of that? Instead of going 3x, why don't you just get like 10x the cross size? Think about that. That's like probably 10 bullets that could be, ricocheted off of that pendant. Get a cross that's much bigger, at least 10 times bigger than the one Aiden Perry was wearing. Time to think, you know what? Why don't you get a cross big enough to cover your torso? Because these are the vital organs are in your torso. Get a large cross and walk around, just hang it around your neck. It's like a choker, just a choker pendant with a giant cross on your torso cover. And that way, Jesus and the pendant are always going to be having your back or like front. Well, you could get 2. Put 2. That's even safer. Get 2 large pendants the size of your torso, covering your entire torso from the front and the back. And imagine the safety you'll be having walking around like that. I said, you know what? While we're at it, why don't you just go ahead and get a full-blown, body-sized cross, a giant cross, maybe even bigger than yours. Maybe actually replicate the cross that Jesus himself was carrying. If you really want to protect yourself against bullets, I say probably even knife fights. Even knife fights are because some parts of the world they don't have guns, but still knives are a thing, and that's good. You should have that. You should have both. You should have guns and knives. But nonetheless, if you want a little bit of protection, forget bulletproof vests, forget bodyguards, forget extra security, forget dike security systems. Forget that. Forget full-blown heterosexual security systems. Forget that guy. Get a full-blown large cross and carry it with you. Anytime you hear a bullet going off, wheel the giant cross towards the bullet and just ricochet back at the perps, and just right there, ricochet, just bounce it off that giant cross. And it also works as kind of like a home workout equipment too, because think about this, you're going to be carrying this thing around, you're lifting weights, you're doing your squats, it's working your core, it's working your chest, your biceps, your triceps, your glutes, your calves, your toes, even your peen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, even your peen. So go ahead and get a giant cross and carry it around. Think about Aiden Perry next time. You're wondering, how can I keep my family safe? Just cover them in a giant cross from front and back, and maybe 2 on the side, just a giant cross. Maybe put like wheels on your shoes and just kind of like cover yourself 360 by giant crosses, and wheel yourself to places and have people help you getting to and from places. But you'll be safe with a cross. And you're like, what about other religious insignia? It's only the cross, the one and only cross. Jesus will save you because this instance shows it. Others might pretend like they do. You want to get a little Star of David or a little Islamic or Buddhist symbolism on your chesticles? Guess what? No video footage of them saving lives. So they might, rumor has it, some of them might even give you AIDS. Super AIDS, the new kind, not that pussy shit from the 80s that's getting cured in the labs today for an affordable price. Super AIDS. I'm not going to say which ones. You do your own research. So you want super AIDS, or you want a pendant that saves lives? You want a pendant that saves lives? Go with the cross. So there you have it. We're definitely glad that Aiden Perry is saved, but we leave it up to the people out there if you want to get saved. Remember, just a giant cross. You might get sclerosis. You might get a little bit of just, back and neck injury long term, but during your prime, you'll be safe. And no AIDS like the other ones too. Remember that. The other ones cause birth defects. That's what the streets say. That's what the internet says. I'm just putting it out there. Oh, I wish we could avoid this deformed baby. How do we end up with this deformed other pendants? That's what you get. Deformed babies, allegedly, as said by the streets. What else is going on in and around the world? I'll say this, we've contributed here at Glad You Made It, and we've come up with a great idea, and because we do want to take care of the environment, we do want to take care of our planet and the people on it too. I said to myself, what are people doing a lot of times? Having sex. What are people using a lot of times? Condoms. How many times are people using the condoms? Once, someone said. It was me. I was just thinking to myself. I said, man, could there be a better way to use condoms? And that's when I came up with reversible condoms, ladies and gentlemen. Get rid of your old condoms. Get the new reversible condoms. Once you finish coming inside the condom, take it out, flip it and reverse it, put it over your cock, and go inside our puss once again. And you can actually come inside these condoms twice. That's twice as much of the coming and twice as little in terms of just twice as less plastic. There you go. Twice as less plastic because it's reversible. Think about that. You don't have to go waste money and get a 24 pack and be done with it after you've pumped 24 times. And we know at least a quarter to 33% of those pumps are the first pumps, which are, don't even count those pumps, dude. You know what I'm talking about, ladies? It's the second pump, and after that, the first pump is just, that's a little appetizer. That's a little bit just to wet the old beak, dip the old toes, say hello, introduce yourself. Who's this? Where am I? What is going on? That's just to say, bonjour, as they say in France. Arrivederci, but I'll be right back. And you could just wait right here, give it a couple of minutes. That's what it is, baby. So reversible condoms, if you buy a 24 pack, that's literally 48 pumps. And it's one quarter, at least a third of those pumps are, again, the first pumps. But you get at least a good 30 pumps in there. A good solid 30 pumps out of a pack, whereas other packs, or what about the time you're like, I gotta just buy a single Lucy from the gas station. I gotta buy a smaller pack from the gas station. We're on the go. We just hooked up by the side of the highway and we're on the go. We got a fuck in the back of this car right now, and there's not enough condoms in those smaller packs. And you wish they were reversible. You wish you got 2 pumps out of it, but they're not. So now you can get the reversible condoms that allow you to flip them inside out, pull them over your cock, and dump your load inside it, like the other side as well. So there you have it. Say goodbye to old-fashioned, just Neanderthals probably used that shit. The savages in the early days probably used that shit. But it's 2025. The future is here. Go ahead and change your life and save the environment a little bit too. Don't just think about yourself. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can all be doing. Again, yeah, sure, this isn't as big as not as big as satanic devil worshipping causes with the hydration of the people and all of that, but nonetheless, helping people just twice as much in a condom instead of just once, doubling your experience for the same price. Maybe we'll even go a little bit cheaper. Maybe we'll get and it's in the works. Maybe we'll manufacture overseas, somewhere where our dollar goes a little bit longer. But stay tuned. That's reversible condoms for consumers from all walks of life. Apparently a lot of people want to know what to do in terms of giving speeches so that they can actually give a little bit of a better speech, make their points heard a little bit louder, and get the old, whether it's at a classroom presentation, whether it's your university college campus, you're preparing to give a speech, you've written an essay that you like to read out, or whether it's in the big corporate world, at another office meeting speech day, and you're like, oh, how do I make this speech go a little bit just a little bit, how do I make my point a little bit more clearly? How do I make sure that they really hear me out? Or what about even having family reunions or just family gatherings and dinners and lunches and even a little brekkie, and then you get up and to give a little speech for the ding ding as you're toasting and about to give a speech, a motivational speech to this family and its legacy. Now it's been going on for 3-4 generations, keeping the wealth, growing the wealth, working hard together, having bickerings and fights, but nonetheless coming back together and making the family business thrive, competing, but not undermining, competing together, working together, cooperating, all the good. All that could be said, and your points could be driven home harder if you use the genital exposure speaking technique. Simply expose your genitalia during your speech. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're at a college classroom, whether you are at a business meeting, or whether you're just with friends or family or at a wedding, it doesn't matter where you are. If you want to give a speech, statistics show that by exposing your genitalia to the audience, you actually increase what goes in their ears by 10,000%. That's right, by 10,000%. Other methods claim they can get the same stats, but they don't work. Try exposing your genitals at your daughter's wedding and give a speech. Are you the best man? Do you want to really be the best man? Expose yourself at the wedding while you're giving the speech. Are you trying to get a merger done at the old office? Are you trying to get the law firm to close the case? Make your point by using the genital exposure technique. Please go ahead and try this in the courtroom. You will see magnificent results. Don't listen to the naysayers who tell you do not expose your genitals while giving away a beautiful speech. They are just haters. They are wanting all the attention to themselves. They don't want to use the technique, and they want to diminish its value by saying it doesn't work. To them, we say, well, try it out for yourself. See how much more people are willing to listen. See how much of the information is actually getting retained by the observers and the participants. Let the results speak for themselves. From now on, do not give a speech without exposing your genitals. Really, really make an impact. Try it today. Genital exposure speaking. Ladies and gents. A lot of times people want to grab a loaf of bread, a slice of bread, a slice of toast, and just spread a little bit of butter on that toast. Oftentimes it's done by yourself or at the breakfast table with your family. The problem is that you take the butter out of the fridge. Sometimes people do leave the butter in the fridge and they take it out, and then they grab a piece of toast and then they start attempting to just spread that butter on the toast, but your toast is soft, it's weak. The butter has been getting hard in the fridge. Your toast is ripping up. You're getting holes. You're going through the slice of bread. You are now puncturing the palm of your hand that's holding the slice of bread. You're bleeding all over the breakfast table. Your children are getting frightened. Your wife is asking you to please stop it. Please stop it. Sweetheart, I have to put the butter on this slice of bread. How else are we gonna get the day going? You'll say that to her as a twinkle goes off in your eye, as a titty just perks up a little bit, knowing that yes, he is right. He does have a point. He has to spread that butter. How else are we gonna get the day going? But guess what? You look like an idiot out there because the bread has just been mauled. It looks like it's been gang raped. Do you want your bread to look like it's been gang raped? I don't think so. Stop looking like an idiot in front of your friends and family members whenever you're spreading butter on your toast. Get glue bread. Glue bread. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. A new form of bread mixed with glue. That's right, mixed with glue. Makes the bread much harder, making it actually a very appropriate place for you to spread that piece of butter on top of. It's flat, it stays hard, it doesn't crumble, and it doesn't make you look like an idiot, a questionable idiot. Do you want to lose the respect of your children? They'll be like, Jimmy's dad's bread doesn't rip into pieces, Daddy. Jimmy's dad's a go-getter. Jimmy's dad has 5 companies, and his bread and your bread is crumbling in front of your children with each crumb hitting the ground. More loss of respect, more loss of just, a vision of what this family is all about, and the willingness to do the things that it takes to go out there and get it, whatever it is. And guess what? Your children are going to grow up to be just inhaling all sorts of gases, just doing all sorts of whippets, all sorts of drugs, all sorts of alcohol. They're hurting themselves. Your children are cutting. They're not coming home. They're staying late outside, near the park, the bad park, not the good park either, the bad one. And who knows what that'll lead to? A life of crime, a life of criminality, juvenile hall, a little slap on the wrist now. Next thing you know, they're in the back of a cop car getting taken away. What's going on? Your family fell apart just because you decided to go with regular bread. Go with glue bread today. Stand up and say, I'm going to be a good example. Do not have your children end up with multiple face tattoos and no record deals. All right, so make the right decision today, please. Help yourselves and your children. Glue bread for the entire family. Pillow raisers. I know what you're thinking. I have a gun under my pillow, and that's the gun that I use to keep myself and my family safe. Well, I say keep the gun, but remove it from under your pillow and replace it with pillow raisers. Sharp razors under your pillow to keep you and your family safe. That's right, these sharp razors are not like the bulky gun that you may hold under your pillow, which you use for protection, which we respect and love. When we say, you know what, put it on the drawer, put it on a little, a nightstand or whatever, put it under the bed, if you will. But for a good night's sleep, you want to feel like as if you're sleeping on nothing. And thin, sharp razors are the best thing to put under your pillow when you go to sleep. So please replace, back up for a second, not replace, supplement your gun with a sharp razor or 2 or 3 or 10. Put 10 sharp razors under your pillow and sleep snug as a bug, feeling safe and secure for that one time that an intruder might just barge into your place. Guess what? Instead of having ruined the night's sleep and getting all sorts of neck injuries and aches in the morning, and you're my vertebrae or my vertebra for the fellas out there, my vertebra is just moved a couple of inches below to the left and it feels awkward. I wonder what the cause is. It's that gun. It's that bulky gun under your pillow. So remove that. Place it somewhere nearby. Replace it with the sharp razors underneath your pillow and fall asleep like a baby. Next thing you know, and I hope this never happens to anybody, but God forbid, it should happen, you can reach under your pillow, grab the multiple razors and and then go for the gun too. But also it's good to have supplementary weapons at hand. Don't just rely on one, get multiple, 10, 20 razors. And people are thinking, will I cut myself? If you're not careful, you will. Absolutely you will. We are not going to take any responsibility for people who want to take sharp razors and place them under their pillows. This is just a good way to get yourself some security. Now, if you're going to go out there and mishandle a tool, all right, we're not going to be the ones who take responsibility for you getting cuts all over. I got cuts all over my hand. Let me ask you this. Is your family safe tonight? They are, huh? I wonder what caused the safety. I wonder why you can fall asleep with a sense of security. It's thanks to the razor. Stop looking around for answers. It's right in front of your face or under your pillow. So yeah, I'm sorry you have a couple of cuts on your fingers, fella. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that your baby boy is going to grow up safe and sound and become a doctor, even though it's not necessary because it's going to be replaced with AI. But nonetheless, you'll see him put on a suit one time and graduate and toss up a hat. And maybe catch it too if he's good with his hands. He better be. He's a doctor, isn't he? He better be good with his hands. Unless it's kind of a doctor that doesn't require good hand-eye coordination. Then just average hand-eye coordination doctor kid who's also going to be replaced by AI. Nonetheless, they're there in front of you. They'll grow up to be something. And guess what? That's thanks to razors under your pillow. People say, what if I toss and turn and cut my face? Oh, I'm sorry, you happen to cut your face? Billions of people put razors under their pillows and they didn't cut their face. Why are you all of a sudden raising awareness and saying our product is not safe when it's the most safe? I say maybe your face is the problem. I say you stop barking up this tree and that try getting a hold of us. This is an offshore account and it's a shell company within a shell company, fellow. Do not come looking after our headquarters. We will relocate and we've got the lawyers to work with the proper people all around the world. That's right. So with that being said, replace or rather supplement your gun with pillow razors today. What about your throat? What if you get cut on your throat and you Yeah. Did we have a few incidents initially when we launched this product? Yes, we did. But now we supply you with a tiny manual, a fruitful manual that says, be careful of the razors around your neck. But nonetheless, billions of people are using this product out there to save themselves and their family and sleep. You hear that? Soothing silence, a sense of safety and security. It's not been felt since probably a good time, maybe since like the 20s, or when was a safe time? Just recall that time. Since then, that's right. Since then, so pillow razors, get them today. Dun 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 dun. Sippy sip. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe Vladimir Zelensky was up in the White House, and this time he visited again. And a lot of people it was a good because they had I'm trying to keep track. A lot of stuff is going on. I'm trying to keep track of everything as much as bilateral meetings went down between President Trump and President Putin, and now bilateral meetings went down between Vladimir Zelensky and President Trump, and now that they've tried now they're gonna do trilateral, because that's what they say that bilateral is the gateway to trilateral, dude. And I say, pace yourselves. I always say, before you go trilateral, you start off with, unilateral and then do bis, and then pace, because there's plenty of life is long, short but also long. If you go bilateral today, next thing you know, you're going through trilateral day next week, and you're just gonna have to keep up in the ante to get your kicks. So just take your time and don't let it go. Have a good time. All I'm saying is have a good time, but do not let it take over your life. All right? People are playing it fast and loose. The point is that Zelensky showed up wearing a suit this time, because last time he didn't wear a suit. Comments were made about him not wearing a suit to a meeting. This time he wore a suit to the meeting, and Zelensky people are asking questions because it's a pivotal time, it's an important time, and people are wondering all across the globe, is he gonna start wearing more suits? Is he gonna get into some sort of did we just open up a gateway to something that we weren't even prepared for? What if he likes suits more? What if he keeps wearing more suits and even fancier suits? What if next time he shows up in some sort of high couture all around the world? People are wondering, is he going to become like a fashion fiend? Will he burn his other clothing items, the ones that are generic, military sort of looking attire? Will he get rid of those? Burn them. Some are saying he might burn them. Others are saying no, he'll donate them. Well, who knows? It's one suit today. Next thing you know, I only wear brand name suits. It's Versace and Fendi and Pucci and Tom Ford and this, that, and Bugatti this and Mercedes that, and this could spiral. And it's just a regular suit today, ladies and gentlemen. People are concerned. What if all his life becomes suits? What if he wears 2 suits at a time? What if he wears 3 suits? What if he mixes and matches? I don't want to look too far into the future and say he's willing to mix and match, but again, if they're playing with bi and trilateral today, we don't know what holds for tomorrow, but rumor has it people are concerned. They're even speculating that he might be willing to work with non-trad fashion designers, underground fashion designers, to wear other sorts of suits. Just a whole body suit, no zipper, no buttons. How do you even get it on? It's like painted on, but it's not. 3D printed suits. What if he gets really, really fancy with it? What if his suits have lights? What if his suits start changing color? People are concerned. What if his suits resemble his skin tone and you see him for then you're like, is that naked Vlad? And you have to look really close and you'd be able to determine that no, he's indeed wearing a suit, but it's a skin tone suit which matches his skin, and it's freaky, especially in like weird lighting. You'd be like, oh, put it away, Vlad. But it's just a skin tone matching suit. People are concerned. All right, so again, this started some time ago, but we hope that it gets wrapped up soon. For the meantime, you just best hope that this doesn't spiral into some sort of chaos. That just a room filled with suits, wardrobe after wardrobe. He'd be doing costume changes next time. Who knows? Or he could reel it in and just be like, you know what, I'm going to be sensible about this. But again, we're not here to speculate. We're just here to voice people's concern and say that we are out there watching and listening. Yeah, watching and listening. You like suits now, do you? Yeah. Does everybody like suits? Yeah. Does everybody like getting fancy pants? Yeah. Okay. I don't condone fighting, but when it does happen, it's best that you're prepared and that you could be your best self in a situation where it requires for you to square up. Instant dick boner pills / period pills. These pills are designed so that you can take them and instantly get a boner and square up with a boner and scare your opponent. Be a little bit more just like aggressive with your overall approach by having a full-blown boner. Now, this isn't a regular dick pill. This is not for sexual pleasures, all right? And for the ladies, this gives you instant periods so that when you have to square up against another bitch, you start bleeding, just bleeding out your vag instantly by taking this one pill. There are similar products out there who will tell you you'll get a boner in like 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. We don't have 15 to 30, all right? We don't have 5. It's on-site boner and period pills, all right? So when you're out there, wherever you are, and I hope this doesn't happen, but when it does happen, you take this pill and you just spread your legs, lady, and it starts bleeding from your puss. Just copious amounts of bleeding from your puss. The other chick is gonna see you bleeding from your vag, and she's gonna say, you know what? This lady's bleeding from her vag, and I'm not gonna mess with her. I'll just turn around and go the other way. And you already won the fight up here without even having to put a hand on anybody else. So and fellas, when you want to square up with 3 arms or like 2 regular arms and your baby arm too, just right there up in his face. Really make an aggro, introduction to say if it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. But like boner and all, yeah, try that. Instant dick pills and period pills for the ladies and fellas who normally do not look for that sort of activity. When it does come across their paths, they're not gonna shy away and back down. They'll go full blown boner and period first. You're welcome out there. Now, as you recall earlier, we did mention that babies don't grow on trees, right, everybody? Yeah. Babies don't grow on trees. Well, let me tell you a little story. It all started some time ago. No one knows when, but some time ago. And it's been going on for some time as well. It's a story that's as old as mankind itself. It's a story of life, relationships, and to creating babies so that more babies can grow up to be adults and have more children of their own. And so the cycle continues. And in recent times, we've all heard of all sorts of developing and even developed countries. All countries around the world are having some sort of issues with potential birth rates. And that's a concern, apparently, allegedly. Who knows? The point is that in China, there's a whole population of males who don't have access to females. And that's been a little bit, that's a little concerning. And a little bit of that is due to the, I'm not like an expert on this by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit of that is due to the one-child policy that they deployed some time ago, but then got rid of. But there's now a large, massive population of males, and there are not enough bitches out there for that. And there's different ways of meeting people out there. It's rough times. And this is not just, again, the population and birth rates it's not just a problem that's, mainly impacting China, other nations, South Korea, Japan, maybe even North America, maybe other parts of the world in Europe as well. But who knows? It is happening. The point is that before you'd have these, what they call them the village matchmakers. And there's a lady in China, Granny Wang. She does a play. She does this like outdoor play, and she gathers thousands of followers and viewers to her shows, and she plays this granny character, matchmaker show, and people will come up for shits and giggles and a fun time, but also to be matchmade because they don't want to end up single. And this lady depicts this old cultural character known as the village matchmaker, and that's the way they did it back then, at least in the Chinese culture. And other cultures may have had similar people. You may have had aunties or relatives who may have introduced you, and then you technology and the train tracks and the printing press and this, that, and now it's replaced by apps. So now people like Granny Wang are seeing competition. People are doing anything and everything to find themselves a match that they can have babies with. And it's happening. It's not like, it's not happening. It's happening. There's a lot of people out there as well. It's not but it is. It's just like low-key, let's keep an eye on it. And maybe just because you don't want to go just population decline and just plummet and die off, do you? I don't think so. Saving humanity one step at a time. Simultaneously, that this whole situation has been going on, a lot of advancements have been made in technology, and a company named Kaiwa Technology in China has just, let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, it's, I don't want to say that this is the end of beautiful cream pies. I don't want to say that cream pies are done. I don't want to say that trad baby batter in the vag, put the baby batter in the vag, close the oven gates, doors, and wait 9 months to have a baby. I don't want to say that traditional methods are over and done with, but this is welcome to Crazy Town. Welcome to the good times. What did this technology company do? Kaiwa Technology has created the first preggo robots. That's right. Preggo robots, ladies and gentlemen. We are now, it's 2025. It's here, allegedly. Look it up. I'm pretty sure it's there. Being sold for $14,000, give or take, roughly 20 G's, let's just say. It is being sold. These robots are able to get pregnant. You can impregnate them, ladies and gentlemen. You can have pregnant robot bitches that are capable of giving birth to human babies. This is gnarly shit. It gets me, man. I mean, trad means of meeting people is seeing a new form of competition, because now this is a whole smorgasbord of new things that you got to deal with. You thought it was weird, like just yesterday or the day before, like 10 months ago. It's about to get really freaky, because this is a new word. That's a fucking crazy. If this is true and if this is happening, which I believe, I'm pretty sure it's probably not even China that's doing this. I bet there are other countries that are doing. Are we doing this, low-key? If there's Chinese preggo robot bitches, do we have preggo robot bitches? And are men and women done? Is this it? I mean, holy shit. So this is pregnant robot bitches. I saw it very recently and I still can't believe it. I still don't know if it's like true. I think it is. From what I understand, it's true. And I believe in different instances of this, of how you can grow babies out of in a fake womb outside of the, but this is essentially it's replacing men and women together. You don't even need to worry about population decline. You're worried that you were gonna worry about population decline, where now you can get these preggo robot babies, or preggo robot bitches who give birth to human babies. And it's, what kind of babies are they going to give birth to? You know, human babies, you know, come with their good and the bad, and, you know, but we're familiar with them. We know what they are. Babies born in the wombs of robot mothers, if you can even call them that, incubators, surrogates. Oh, I mean, people were already getting into relationships with AI chatbots and holograms and even sex bots, but this takes it to you can actually, in a few years from now, you can probably get a sex robot and get it pregnant. Probably doesn't even matter if you're female or male, you can just get it pregnant, you know, or have it get you pregnant. Get some jizz off somebody, find some jizz, put it in the robot, and it'll fuck you, lady, and it'll jizz in your vag and get you pregnant. Reverse it, give her fake ovaries, jizz in her fake ovaries, and finish on her face too a little bit, like not too much in the eye sockets, because then it'll just, like, you know, sparks are gonna fly. Still trying to work out the quirks, but nonetheless, she'll get pregnant and your baby's gonna be mothered by a robot. And that's, how's she gonna breastfeed? Probably open the hatch in the back, pour some, you know, milk in the teats, and then the tube that feeds the, oh man, there's gonna be robot tits just feeding us, isn't it? We're gonna have, oh man, the babies' mouths are gonna be deformed because they're gonna be sucking on rock solid metal teats, or maybe they'll be silicone, maybe it'll just be, I don't know what is happening. The point is that this is, you know what's gonna happen. The thing that will happen is that it's the future. It's 10 years from now, it's 15 years from now. Your Chinese preggo robot who you got pregnant and married is filing for divorce. It is, I don't know what to call it. Do we call it a she? Do we call it human? I mean, it's mixed with AI, large language learning models, and a little bit of artificial intelligence, and now they can get pregnant. This is, I mean, yeah, she's filing for divorce. She is gonna just, you are not adequate enough, okay? You weren't adequate enough to start a family on your own. Your job is probably not adequate enough. Your intelligence will probably not be adequate enough. She wants a better partner. She's probably gonna hook up with another robot, probably like a male robot, who is also divorcing his partner too. And they're gonna form a family, raising your children and getting child support from you. And it's not even much. And they're not even getting the child support because they need it, because they work in all the realms. They've got hands like tentacles and all the different pots, and they're reeling in money, but they still want to just get a little bit of child support from you, just to put you in your place probably, and take away your old Corvette, which wasn't even much, but still was one thing that just kept you going through the days. But now the repo man has come in for that old Corvette, man, because now you owe child services and child support to the robot parents who are raising your children. And it is you're not gonna win this. You're not gonna win this. If you're gonna go to court, you're gonna have a robot lawyer who is just gonna be you thought human lawyers were cutthroat. You thought they were the spawn of the devil. Watch what these beautiful mechanics. And I just want to preface, in case the AI is listening, and in case the alien AI overlords that are, I love AI and robots. Team AI robot. Team AI robot, 100%. I have to say this shit. Be cool, man, be cool. I love robots. Completely cool with AI and not threatened whatsoever. I, for one, am 100% behind robot mothers giving birth to human babies. I'm not bothered by it at all. Unplug it now. I know, what? Who said? People might say, I'm just letting you know that it's here, and it's gonna be a tough court battle, which you're probably not gonna win. And in 100 years, I'm an optimist, but it is like we are creating some stuff that we're gonna have to compete with extremely, you know, it's gonna be a close competition, because they're gonna fight for their rights, Are they going to be treated like humans? They're going to be better than humans? What would you need even humans for? You could just get a bunch of DNA from a couple of rich fellas and ladies and just kill off everybody else, starve them to death. Don't give them any jobs or money or resources. Have them shrivel up and die and take their jizz that's in the sewer system, take their placenta and their blood in the source, take their shit, blood, and placenta and jizz, and just, they're gonna control the sewer system, get a bunch of DNA from everybody, find the best DNA, take that DNA, insert it into their cold bodies, and get pregnated with, you know, half human, half bot babies. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Chinese are doing it, I believe, and it concerns me because, like, now it becomes a thing, like, if they're doing it, should we be doing it? Are we doing it? Low-key not telling them that we're doing it. Is everybody doing it? Are they the only ones who are doing it at this point? Should they continue to do this? Should we continue to do this? On the bright side of things, you no longer have to worry about your wife getting midnight pregnant cravings. Oh, Gary, bring me a slice of watermelon. Get your own slice of watermelon. But now you got that bitch. You got that fucking crazy cold-hearted bitch. It doesn't even have a heart. It's just a little mechanical heart. You're gonna wish you were given the opportunity to give Beatrice her slice of watermelon in the odd hours of the night. The pro of this, there's no stretch marks on this bitch. You can just open up the gates after the baby is cooked. You can just open up her belly, remove the water sac that the baby's floating in, and take your baby out. No screaming, no, oh, get a whole, you know, hospital, private room. I want a private room. None of that shit. These bitches can give birth instantly and help you, you know, to lift the car from the side of the ditch and flip a car if need be, and fight a couple of lumberjacks, and, you know, punch a shark in the nose and bite a tiger in the crotch if need be. They can do all of that and also invest in the stock market while flipping crypto and relocating your household to a better tax state or whatever. It's gonna be a little bit challenging is all I'm saying, but probably for good. Yeah, all in all, I say we got the tech to splice our own DNA so that our genes, we could supplement fighting the robot genes with better human genes by getting rid of defective genes, which is low-key. I think it's gonna be good. I'm here for it. All feels a little bit like, you know, it feels a bit like, you know, Nazi human experiments. It feels a little bit like that. It feels a little bit, you know, low-key, but then again, sometimes everything low-key does, but not it's not a eugenicist point of view of, like, you know, because, like, if you want a really good, you know, hardworking people who don't complain, who don't resist, who don't say anything, who just obey and comply, well, then just make robot babies. But all in all, forget about worrying about the pro side of this. If you're like, oh, my sperm count is, I wonder, don't worry, we will take the weakest of your sperms and still put it in like a robot incubator, and you'll still have a baby. You don't need to go out there, find anybody. Forget about lonely nights. Forget about all sorts of things that came with the human mating / life cycle experience / just overall. We're headed in a new direction, and I'm excited for it. All in all, I'm optimistic, but low-key, it's a little bit of a concern. We are now growing babies inside robots. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a concern, all right? Mostly Mr. Optimistic, but also a little bit concerned about preggo robot bitches out there. You know, say goodbye to warm, hot cream pies. Say hello to dry, empty, you know, just a handful of just jizz in the palm of your hands, just like rub it on her face. She'll take the rest and move forward. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.